And we are live. How's it going, everyone? It's been a while since I streamed. But nevertheless, I'm here with classically trained Mark, owner of Metrotham Con.
What's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well this evening.
And as you can tell, I'm hyped. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for Metrotham Con. I wish it was tomorrow.
I don't. Give me a couple more weeks.
You've been on a row, though. You have a great lineup of guests.
Yep.
If anybody has checked the Facebook page, check out Metrotham Con on Facebook. They got a lot of guests coming, some really good ones. Of course, Jennifer Chi. The last time we talked, that was the only guest, really, that and Carrie Means. Yep. But who else is coming this time?
So you mentioned Jennifer. So she's the singing voice of Sailor Moon. We also have Amanda Miller, who is Sailor Jupiter, and Lauren Landa, who is hold on, it's slipping my mind. Sailor Neptune, excuse me. So we got 3 of the Sailor Scouts, so that's exciting. They do a lot of other things too. So Amanda is Boruto Uzumaki, and Lauren Landa is Merlin from Seven Deadly Sins, and Annie in Attack on Titan, and a bunch of other stuff. Nice. That's awesome.
I love Seven Deadly Sins. It's one of my favorite anime.
Too. Of the newer animes, not the old school, it's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I like the King Arthur, Knights of the Realm type feel it has to it, set in that time period. The music's amazing. Character development's amazing. It's a lot of fun. But we got the Sailor Scouts, the 3 Sailor Scouts. We got Tracy Lynn Cruz, who is the Yellow Turbo and In Space Ranger. She's super sweet. She's super excited to be there. She's Saturday only. We got Brennan Mejia, the Red Dino Charge Ranger. So it's a more recent season. I want to say that season was like 2016, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a really popular season. Kind of brought Power Rangers back into the forefront there because it kind of.
Oh
yeah. We got Sean Kanan, who is Mike Barnes from Karate Kid Part 3.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. I think he's also set to appear in the next season of Cobra Kai as well.
Yep. Season 4, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. And let's see who else. We got Carrie Means, like you said, the voice of Frylock. Right. We got Sam De La Rosa, who is a Marvel Comics artist. He did a lot of the Venom and Carnage stuff, the Lethal Protector series. He inked all that stuff. He'll be here. He's actually going to make an appearance at Epicos, which is a local comic book shop here, and he's going to do an in-store signing the Thursday before the convention. So we got that set up.
Where's that going to be at?
Epicos. Yeah. It's maybe 15 minutes from the convention center, north of the convention center. So it's pretty close to where all the action will be. I think it's set to be at 5 p.m. that Thursday. So that should be a lot of fun.
BJ Starshine said that she is looking forward to the convention.
That's awesome. We're excited to see everybody there. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback. The pre-register has picked up definitely here in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to seeing everybody.
Digital Apple said fun live stream time. Hooray.
Yeah.
So yep. What are you looking forward to the most for this year? Are you looking forward to more numbers or
To me, it's not all about the numbers.
Right.
There's a lot that goes into it. I want everyone that comes to have fun.
Right. Obviously. Yeah.
Whether it be, 10 people or 10,000 people, it doesn't matter. We do it because we love to do it. It's not, a get rich scheme.
No,
Ultimately,
no.
what
I
I
wasn't
like for
implying that. I wasn't. I promise.
what I like for it to supplement my income enough to where I didn't have to work a day job. Sure, that way I can devote 100% of myself to
Yeah.
this and make it better and grow it, as the years go on. But we got a lot of big plans for it in the future. COVID, like we've said before, it set us back a year. So now I think our big launching
Right.
point will be next year for We Love the 90s. That's our theme next year. And I've got some exciting stuff planned for that too. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I enjoy about these conventions. Like I recently went to Lexington Comic Con, which was a bigger convention
yeah,
than what I've been to before,
yep,
and I got the chance to sit in Kit.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was just like that's the point of these conventions is for people to have fun and and it's not just about the numbers like you said, and
right,
it's not about the money and everything about that. It's about giving people an experience that they'll talk about forever.
right. That's the thing. Like those forever lasting memories that you create and
Hmm.
those friendships that you create. Because there's people from all different types of backgrounds and cities, and they all come together and share in their respective fandoms.
Digital Apple said excited for all the fun stuff. Fan stuff. Is that fan stuff or fun stuff? Fan
I
stuff.
think it's fan stuff.
Fan stuff.
Um,
Oh
and
boy.
this year's the first year. So we've had VIP tickets the past couple of years, but this is the first year where we have our VIPs get exclusive events and panels that they get access to. So that's something new that we're doing this year, and we'll add to that list, the amount of stuff that they get moving forward. But one of the things is the Sailor Moon concert, the Power of Love concert
Yeah.
with Jennifer C. I know a lot of people are pretty excited about that.
I'm obviously excited about that because Jennifer Chi, she's a really good singer,
Yeah, most
and
definitely.
I'm really excited for the other stuff too. I mean, you got the panels, you got the music, the after dark party and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
it's always fun to like go to these conventions because you never know what to expect,
right.
and like what what would you say like is the hardest thing that you had to put together for this?
Um, so for this year in particular, we've added a few special things. Like one thing that has been difficult and will be difficult to pull off is our live action Mario Kart races.
Oh gosh.
That's a cool event that we've done this year. I've got multiple like go kart. I guess they're like the hoverboards, but you put the cart on top of them. So we got a bunch of those, and I've got the different Mario character stickers we're gonna put on the seats, and we've got like the blue shell and the red shell and the banana peel. It's gonna feel just like Mario Kart but live action.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think that's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be logistically speaking, probably a nightmare, but I think we'll pull it off.
And probably an expensive thing to pull off.
But I think that's something that we can grow and it be kind of unique. I don't really know of any other conventions that do like live action Mario.
No.
So I'm excited about that.
Also looking forward to possible appearances from actors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a lot of people that are going to be there, and you were telling me that right now you're trying to get another guest on
Yep.
board.
Yep. That's why I was checking my phone earlier.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think you guys will be excited about this guest too,
Oh yeah, and
especially if you're an 80s anime fan. So
it depends though. What could you give a hint?
I mean, one of the biggest, so the anime that got me into anime, I think I may have mentioned this to you at one point before in one of our other sit downs, but Akira.
Akira.
1988, I believe, is when that came
Yep.
out. That was my introduction to Japanimation, as it was called back then. That's what we knew it as. And
it's one of the most important anime series, and hopefully one of these days I'll get to actually talk about it on my channel here, because that's something I plan to review. But I've been working on a lot of videos, and I've been trying my best to, get content out there, but obviously work and everything, it's hard, it's rough, but I mean, it seems like, though, this is a good way, to sort of take your mind off of work and have some fun.
Yeah. And this is really, it's fun for me. That's kind of hi, Miss Eco Geek. How
Eco
are you?
Geek.
Eco Geek. But that's kind of why I do it, because it is fun. Now it is super stressful at times.
Oh yeah.
Especially dealing with multiple celebrities and agents and venues and all the staff and things like that. There's a lot that goes into it. I don't think people realize how much goes into even a smaller convention, how much planning and energy and effort goes into it. It's a lot, and it can be draining, but the payoff is, like we were saying earlier, creating those memories for the attendees and the fans that come. It may be their one opportunity that they get to see, Amanda Miller or Lauren Landa or, Sean Kanan, because they're close enough to them.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. It's super stressful, but it's super fun too. So.
Oh yeah.
You take the good with the bad.
I mean, Yun's been doing this for almost 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even though, you guys, have been struggling with the pandemic and everything, I mean, you guys still managed to, you still managed to put yourselves out there and,
right.
And give people something. Yeah, pull it off.
Yeah.
I mean, all the setbacks and everything.
Yeah, and kudos to my team for pulling together and making that happen. Some people may say, "Oh, well, you had extra time to plan," but you really didn't. Because the state of the world, you kind of you couldn't get out there and promote, because everything was shut down. You couldn't have in-person meetings where you get all your crew together and build that camaraderie. You just couldn't do any of that, so it made it very difficult. And the fact that we did come together after having to postpone twice. We had our original dates were May 1st to the 3rd, and then we had to postpone it to October, and then we had to postpone again.
Someone's looking forward to Metrotham Con this year.
Yeah, that's John. Hey, John.
What's up, John? And Miss Echo said, counting down the days to Metrotham Con. Oh, yes.
How many days is that?
14 days. Probably 14 days. I mean, we're getting close to the end of April.
Yeah. We got we got a few weeks.
Few weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. The 13th. And that's what, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I mean, I asked my boss. I told him if I could go to this convention, and he was like, let me check the schedule here. Like he waits a few days and then he says, okay, yeah, you could go. Yeah. he said, I'll make sure you go. I was like, yes.
Yeah, and also this year too, which I plan on getting in our gaming. So our gaming room, our console gaming hall is bigger this year.
21 days.
21 days is bigger this year. It's almost, I want to say it's like 400 to 500 square feet bigger than it was last year. And we're going to have a lot of retro gaming, like the Atari 2600, NES 64. I've got some arcade machines that we'll have there. So I
We
plan
didn't
on.
have a gaming room last year, did we?
We did, but it was smaller and a little bit
Oh,
further away. So
I didn't.
placed it.
I didn't
I
see
placed it
it.
closer to the main area, and it's bigger. So we'll put an emphasis on that this year.
Yes, I couldn't even find it. I was like, "Where's all the gaming stuff? Where's the retro games?"
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
mean,
Tell
that's my
everybody about it. Tell them to get those pre-register badges. They're only $20 for the whole weekend.
hell yeah, $20.
Yeah.
Like you could use that to get you 3 days of stress free.
Right.
I mean, what more could you ask for?
Yeah. I mean, you literally for $20. Oh, what we got?
Funny off topic story. I got a small flame war to happen in that creepy readings comment section last month. I don't know what that is. I have a question. What if I can pay the tickets when I arrive there instead of buying it online?
So I can. That's a good question. So to get the weekend pass for $20, you have to pre-register online.
Yeah.
That's how you get that deal. And we've kept it that $20 price point just because we're trying to pass some savings along to everybody. We do understand that times are still difficult. So we want it to be affordable. And so when you get there, you have more money freed up to get those autographs, get those pro photo ops, buy all the cool merch from the vendors that we have. We want you to have more available money to you to spend the weekend. But yes, you have to pre-register to get it for that price. If you buy a weekend badge at the convention, it's $40. Still not super expensive. It's very affordable. In comparison to other shows.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I understand there's a lot of people that probably don't trust online stuff, but
And I get that. And if you want to, and that's the thing too, we've made our weekend pricing so cheap that it's cheaper than a single day, like a single Saturday ticket. So I mean, to get it, go ahead and get that pre-register down.
Daniel said, "Let's go to Metrotham Con."
That's right.
Miss Echo said that they did. How am I doing? I'm doing all right, Digital Apple. I'm just ready for Metrotham Con. I'm ready to get off work.
Yeah.
I'm just. They had me stalking for like 2 weeks, and I'm burned out. I mean, I only went to Lexington Comic Con for 1 day, and that wasn't enough. I was like, I need 3 days off.
Right. I saw your video that you did of like the vendor hall and all the space.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to do more of those, like, because I want to do more like vendor hall showcases to showcase like smart purchases at vendor halls.
Yeah.
Because like people usually just go to a vendor hall and they don't even look at anything. They just stand there and
right.
Like they're not buying anything. They just look at it. I want to actually make a series about that, like going to different vendors, like, and seeing like if there's smart purchases I can make.
Right.
Because I mean that's the thing, people don't think about this, that, when you go to these smaller cons, you're saving money. Because if you go to places like Lexington Comic Con, you're going to be spending a lot of money on vendors and stuff like that. Yeah. And plus, tickets are not cheap. They're like $200.
Right.
So $20 for Metrotham Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a steal.
It is, and and that's the thing too. You got it's $200 for the ticket, and then if you want that photo with so and so, it's a separate ticket. That's $150.
Yeah.
And typically vendors have to raise their prices at those bigger shows to make back their money that they paid on their booth fee.
Yep.
Because typically the booth fees are a lot higher at those shows. For good reason. They have more attendees, and there's more traffic flow. So I get that. But at the same time, it takes away from the fan experience. They have less money and means to really and truly enjoy it. I I would like to keep ticket prices as low as possible for as long as possible. That's my goal. I just need everybody to come out and show up.
Yeah.
And help the vendors make money because they work hard. That's their livelihood. That's they make things and sell things. That's what they do. Spend money on that. Buy an autograph from the celebrities. That helps me be able to bring bigger and better celebrities each year. The more money they make, that helps. And one thing too, since we're talking about vendors and merchandise and money and saving money, we have upgraded our personal convention merchandise booth. I've got a couple things I'm going to share with you.
Okay.
So we got a couple different T-shirts this year. Here's our
that I want that.
Our Revenge of the 80s shirt there. Got it tilted.
I love Labyrinth.
But it's like a mashup, and you can see Kaneda's bike there at the bottom.
I actually went back and watched Labyrinth recently.
Yeah.
And I watched Dark Crystal too.
See, I think we may have talked about this on Dark Crystal. For me, just doesn't hold up. I still have, and here's just the basic
Revenge of the 80s.
Revenge of the 80s there. So we got two different styles of shirts. We got the buttons. I know a lot of people like buttons.
I like buttons.
T-shirt styles and buttons.
buttons. Who's got the buttons?
We got 11 by 17 posters. This is our
that one.
Metrotham Con picture there, the Superman, Batman. And then this one right here would be really good for someone to get.
What's up, Kiri?
And get it signed by celebrities and stuff. It's a nice piece of memorabilia.
It looks good. It looks good.
So we've got more merch this year. We definitely are working on making everything a better experience all the way around. Name that 80s tune. Can't wait.
And he's also looking forward to the lip sync battle.
That's going to be fun.
Looking forward to the vendor hall and karaoke.
Yep.
Or get a forever pass. Yes, that forever pass.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of the way to go right there.
Yeah, I mean, $200, you get to go to all the events, you get all the T-shirts that they come out with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's basically just a way to give back to you guys for giving us something,
Yeah.
I mean,
and like VIP for life,
It's VIP for life.
Yeah. So the burlesque will
hat this year. The kittens will be so awesome.
So John there, he's talking about like our
Time Rifter.
Our After Dark stuff is our adult, 18.
And there's Kiri. He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, the karaoke is going to be a lot of fun. Our guys, we got this little karaoke screen, and it's they've been working on it to try to master it and perfect it so everybody has a really good time. But karaoke will be a blast. The lip sync battle, we got trophies for all the different events. Just everything, man, is just so much better and nicer and more organized this year. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Oh yeah, I mean, you said last time that it's going to be in a bigger. You're making it bigger. I mean, like you're getting more room.
Mm-hmm.
But I was wondering if there's going to be like a map layout.
So we do have a map, and we will have an app this year.
Oh gosh. That's what they told me when I went to Lexington. They said, here's a map on an app. I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
So
that
we'll have
doesn't help if you don't have Wi-Fi.
We'll have a paper schedule as well, so we'll do both. That should help everybody. But the app is pretty intuitive. It'll have nice
Rolling Stones.
Yep. The app it's pretty intuitive. It'll have all the guests, and it's got all the scheduled events and the times and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
It's not like a meetup section where if people want to meet up and do cosplay photos. We'll have several cosplay photographers on hand. So
And
in the
that's
cosplay contest, the pricing is insane.
yeah.
$1,000 for best in show. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is. I mean, it's over $2,000 worth of prizes.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw that you posted about the prizes. Like, you have different categories, and each category has a price for the award.
Yeah.
One of them having a VIP pass for next
Yep.
year.
Yeah.
Which that would be cool. I mean, I guess I'm not the cosplay type person. I like cosplays, I do, but I just don't see myself dressing up as anybody.
So I normally don't cosplay either. I love the cosplay community, and they're extremely talented
Oh
at
yeah,
building and crafting. It's just never been something. Maybe because I'm not good at building, like sewing
and it's a lot of time and money.
it does. But I will say I will wear a cosplay this year. I've got one.
Thanks, Rhonda.
I'm gonna be Scott from Teen Wolf in wolf form.
Teen Wolf.
Yeah, so I'll definitely wear that. And my wife has the Pamela shirt that says Teen Wolf, and she's got the blonde hair, and we'll be like Pamela and Scott from Teen Wolf.
I mean, I can't dress up as anyone right now because I just ain't got the money to put in my time into all that. If I were, I would like to cosplay as that guy right there, Snake.
Yeah.
But I mean, I ain't got the hair. I ain't got the the muscles. I ain't got the I ain't got the eye
You don't
patch.
need all that to be Snake.
I'll be a bald headed snake.
Do your own iteration of Snake. You could do a hat Snake. Where your hat
Snake, which I love my hat. It's an NES controller, which that's one of the biggest things of the 80s that I love is video games. And that I wish that my only thing, I wish you guys had more like video game designers, like people in the gaming industry, which I think that would be awesome if you guys could get somebody.
So I actually have that kind of plan. So one of our themes one year will be just gaming. And we'll have content creators like different publishers and digital design studios and voice actors from games. We'll really focus.
But do you think they'll ever make a new Punch-Out game? I mean, maybe. I'd love to see a new Punch-Out game.
Yeah.
Game designers sound like a good idea.
Yeah, and that's definitely something. So, like I said, next year's we love
90s.
The 90s. I definitely want to do a wrestling year, where I'll have a wrestling ring. We'll do a whole wrestling show.
I'll cosplay then in the 90s. I'll cosplay as Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Nice. And I do want to do a gaming year as well. So
yes,
that's definitely something we'll do in the future for sure.
And by the way, guys, I will be there for all 3 days. So I'm gonna have my own setup. If you guys want to take pictures with me and stuff like that, I mean, I'll be there. I probably won't have any merch because, like I said, I ain't got no money for that. But I mean, I would love to sit down and talk to you guys and just have conversations. I mean, that's what I love. I love talking about this stuff because this is something that I want to dedicate my channel to, is hearing other people's opinions, not just my own.
Right.
Especially when it comes to movies and stuff. And I mean, this stuff right here, like, it means a lot to me.
Yeah, same. I definitely agree. I mean, if it's something that you're passionate about, you should just run with it. It doesn't, even if it doesn't, pay a lot of money
No.
or any money. Just do what you love and what makes you feel good. You definitely have to have that. Now you got to take care of business.
Oh yeah.
But you do need to have that outlet that you love, whether it be reading a comic book or watching an anime or doing a stream. There's several outlets that people have that help them decompress and get out of the rigors of everyday life. Because
Yeah.
it can be stressful, but sitting down talking about nerdy stuff can be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, and I'm not saying you should, completely devote your time to that. I mean, I'm saying every once in a while, you get stressed out, just pick up a book or pick up a comic or pick up a game or something. Just relax.
Yeah, take a breath.
Yeah, take a breath. I mean, life is short, and I just want people to have fun.
Mm-hmm. No.
And my boss even told me this. He said, which I didn't know he found out about my channel, but he was surprised. He said, "You put a lot of work into your content, and you really know what you're doing. I don't know why you're working here." He's like, "Why in the hell are you working here at a grocery store?" And I'm like, "I don't know. That's a good question." But I mean,
you gotta handle business in the meantime
yeah.
until if the channel takes off one day, great. But
If
in the
not,
meantime,
then that's fine too. I mean, I'm doing this for fun right now. I mean, this is fun. Like I never thought I would ever grow as big as I did. It was a surprise to me because when we first talked, me and you, I was a small channel, and it was because of you guys. You guys helped me out too, and yeah,
that's what it's all about. You gotta help each other along the way, and if one person grows, you all grow. It's
Kiri. When you have a gaming themed con 1 year mark, I'll probably want to get a VTuber booth set up for that.
Awesome.
Just not Jumanji. I can't go through another 2 years of insanity. I heard they're coming out with another Jumanji movie.
Please stop. They need to stop.
They do. I mean, Robin Williams' Jumanji is always my favorite.
That's all you needed. You didn't need all this other stuff.
No. But I will say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson one, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Kind of. But then they came out with a sequel, and it's like, no.
See, I'm a movie buff, and I've seen just about every movie there is out there, but those two movies I have stayed away from.
Oh.
He loves you too.
I love all of you. Just one Jumanji was enough. Yes.
I agree.
I've heard rumors that they're remaking Firestarter.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah. I saw the trailer for it and I'm like, why? Like that's a good movie.
Yeah, there's something
the original
don't need to touch. Just don't touch
like
it.
Pet Cemetery. I was, oh God. I want to talk about Pet Cemetery. That's one of my favorite horror movies.
So did you like the second one?
No.
With Edward Furlong? No.
It was stupid and hilarious, but it was really bad.
Yeah.
But I will say I did like the scene where the kid gets his face smushed by a motorcycle.
Yes.
that was the best scene.
Wasn't Clancy Brown in that one? I love Clancy Brown.
Yeah, Pet Cemetery 2.
Yeah.
And then they came out with a remake of Pet Cemetery, which I didn't care for.
I don't think I watched it all the way through, to be honest with you. I know I started it, and I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, Pet Cemetery 2, though, I would definitely rank it, as my second favorite Pet Cemetery movie because, I mean, it's like, it's so bad that it's good, in my opinion. I mean, it's not great. It's not a great movie. It's bad, but it's just funny.
What's your So I was talking to some people at work the other day about Stephen King adaptations, movie adaptations. What's your favorite Stephen King movie that's been adapted?
I mean, besides Pet Cemetery,
Yeah,
in terms of adaptation, I would probably have to go with The Shining.
yeah.
Stanley
And,
Kubrick's The Shining,
and Stephen King hates that movie.
and he hates it. Yeah, and I heard they're remaking it. But that's the best one.
Sequel, with Doctor Sleep.
Mm-hmm.
They already had the sequel. I don't know why they need to remake it.
I guess it's because Stephen King didn't like it.
Yeah.
Which nobody appreciates that movie enough. I mean,
Right.
It was directed by Stanley Kubrick.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest directors like of his time,
Right.
And like I'll say this, like, if Alfred Hitchcock was the master of suspense, Stanley Kubrick is a pretty close second.
Yeah. No, I would agree. The Shining is one of those, not just top horror movies, just top movies in general.
And Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. I mean, Jack Nicholson, man.
That defined his career.
Yeah. I mean, and it deviated quite a bit, from the books. But I liked it.
Have you seen the documentary?
I don't think I have. No.
They talked about all these conspiracies, like The Shining had something to do with this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the paranormal stuff, like, because the movie took place at this hotel, like, yeah. and people said that it was haunted.
I'm sure. What was the Overlook Hotels? What it was based off of, right?
Mm-hmm. I remember when we became friends after I had a pretty bad weekend. Yeah, I appreciate it, Kiri. I really do, and I'm glad I got to meet you too. And I look forward to seeing you, dude, at Metrotham Con. I love to hang out with you. But I love The Shining. That's in terms of adaptation, like, that's one of my favorites. Pet Cemetery, and I also like Misery.
So Misery. I brought up Misery. Misery is one a lot of people forget.
Mm-hmm.
That it's even Stephen King related.
Mm-hmm.
But Kathy Bates in that movie was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That movie's terrifying.
Yeah, because it makes you think, like, if there is someone like that, like someone who is such a fan of you that they go through all that just to kidnap you and torture you, and like, she put him through hell.
Was it James Caan? Was that
yep.
Yeah.
James Caan.
Yeah. He did a great job too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that movie definitely is.
She broke all of his fingers. Oh God. Let's hope nothing bad happens. And nothing bad ain't gonna happen. My mom always told me this, you can't always think of the negative, you always think of the positive.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if you think nothing but the negative, then that's what's gonna happen. That's all that's gonna happen.
Yeah, you get consumed by it.
You get consumed by it, and it makes you feel miserable and not looking forward to anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, I always think positively.
Glass half full.
Glass is half full. I really enjoyed your content, Pyre, and I'm really hoping that you'll have an amazing future in your career. I hope so too. I'm hoping that this channel takes off, but you never know. I put my faith into the good Lord's hands.
Just keep making that content.
Oh yeah, keep having hope. Whatever you focus on will grow. Yes.
That is true.
Love life to the fullest. So let me ask you this, Mark.
Yeah.
What was your biggest struggle of doing all this? Like, was it investing in it and putting your time in it, or what was the struggle for you to make Metrotham Con a thing?
I think so. The hardest part, I'm a pretty creative guy. My brain's always on, and I'm always thinking of new and
Yeah.
exciting things that we can do. And sometimes I have to reel that in. Um, so the creative part of it's not a problem at all. I think probably the hardest part, and it's not even the financial part, it's the balancing, your
Right.
family life with, devoting time to the convention, to your day job. It's
Mm-hmm.
finding that balance. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Because this stuff does take up a lot of my time, but at the same time, I have 4 daughters and a wife that, love me and want to spend time with me too. So it's finding that balance. That's
Yeah.
the hardest part. But I'm extremely thankful for my family. They're super supportive, and they're going to be by my side every step of the
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
And that's the most important thing is family.
Yeah.
And like I told you last time we talked, I I it's a memory that I'll hold on to for the rest of my life, being able to spend time with my mom and you know seeing her have fun and
Right.
just bringing the family down there. That's the kind of moments I want to make. That's the kind of moments I want my life.
Right.
When you reflect back, you know, I want to carry those moments with me forever,
Yeah.
even after I die. You know
Right.
that's something I want to hold on to.
Yeah. And those moments are kind of what defines you. When
Hmm.
you're dead and gone, it's all about, what type of person were you? How did you live your life? What will people remember about you?
Yeah.
They won't monetary stuff,
No,
that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of
it
things.
don't.
So I mean, you need it. I wouldn't be able to pull off the convention without hard work and money, but at the same time, it's not the most important thing in life.
You gotta have family. You gotta have
Mhm. You need
you
that
gotta
support.
have sports. You gotta have there's a lot of things,
Hmm.
and I think that's what people forget to realize. You know, it's a teamwork thing.
Exactly.
It's not just one person running this.
Mm. Even though I'm the founder and chairman of it, it's not just me. Like I said, my family allows me and shares me with the convention community. If it wasn't for them being accepting, because I will always choose my family over anything.
Oh yeah,
But if it wasn't for them being accepting of this and seeing how much passion I have for it and allowing me to do this, I wouldn't be doing it. So I'm super thankful for having that support system. You have to have that, and it's really cool too because you create this extended family. Your con family.
your
So it makes it
convention
feel like you
family.
got an aunt and an uncle, cousins and brothers and sisters. It just feels like one big family, and we fight. We don't always get along, but we always love each other at the end of the day, and
Yeah,
that's what type of environment I think that we've created. With our small staff,
yeah.
which has definitely grown this year.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I mean, like I said, I wish it was tomorrow. I know you don't wish it was
Mm,
tomorrow, but I
yeah.
mean, but like I'm just looking forward to everything, and you know, like I've been trying to get out more, and that's the most important thing, because you don't want to, stay in doors, and there's a life out there.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that, the pandemic is, we're sort of getting through the end of this,
Yeah. Or at least here anyway, the case numbers are so low. It's almost insignificant at this point, So hopefully we're on the other side of this thing, and everyone can get back to normal. At least that's what it feels like here anyways, that everybody has gotten back to normal.
Aw. Everybody's showing you love, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark, you have a great family.
Yes.
We do love you, Mark. My con cosplay family is my chosen family. Mark and the whole con crew are the coolest con
fam.
Okay. Sorry. Coolest con fam.
And that's what we want, and that's the thing. If we can get people to come and see that and experience that, they're like, man, this is a lot of fun. And that's why I know that we have something special with Metrotham Con, right? Because it does feel unique and different. It's not a cookie cutter convention. It's not let's throw a bunch of money at it and get all the biggest celebrities and not have that personal interaction. You got to have that. And, we will have that big con feel, but the small con interaction and like family vibe,
family atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's not, and I prefer Metrotham Con over Lexington Comic Con.
Yeah.
And that's mostly because of that feeling you get, because when you go to bigger cons, you feel like, like you feel claustrophobic because there's a lot of people around you.
Like a small fish in the ocean.
Yeah, you feel like a small fish in a big pond, and there's people that'll trample over you, and But I like going to cons. It's fun, and I'm used to being in a big crowd, but not like that.
Yeah.
And having to wait in line, and which Jason David Frank. I love him to death, and I told him that he was a hero of mine, and he's a big inspiration to me.
Yeah.
But I told him I just could not stand through your line. I just couldn't, because his line was so big.
Yeah.
And you're in this tight space, and it's hard to move around with people poking at you, and it's just not comfortable.
Yeah, and sometimes that's not for everybody.
No,
I don't like doing that either.
Yeah, it's why I prefer medium-sized cons over the big cons. Lexington Comic Con's a great place. I love Jared and the crew. Jared is a really good person. He gave me 2 press passes.
Nice.
But I couldn't schedule any interviews with anybody because I had to talk to their agents and stuff like that. And I have to schedule it all. And I'm like, you guys never gave me a schedule or anything. Like, they never sent me all this. And he apologized for that. He said, I'm sorry for that. And, he said, it's just, this came by fast. And, when, and this, you've run plenty of conventions.
Yep.
You would know how hard it is to get everything organized, and time does fly by fast when you're planning. And you're not going to have time for everything, to get all these schedules to press and everything.
Yeah. Some of the stuff you got to fly by the seat of your pants. It's just once it gets here, we'll just deal with it as it comes. You can't prepare for everything. That's insane to think that you can.
No.
There's going to be things that happen that you did not foresee, and there's going to be things that you overthought and overplanned for. They are anxiety inducing. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I'm in my element at conventions. Like I love when we go and promote it at shows, like when we do Dragon Con and set up there. It's just a lot of fun talking to people, especially when it's something that you're passionate about. I can sit there and talk to people about Metrotham Con all day long. And like my ideas and my plans and the guests I want to have and the vision I have for it, I can talk about that stuff all day long.
Oh yeah.
And to some people it may be boring, but I just, like I said, I'm creative in my mind. I constantly think about stuff. So yeah, that's a gift and a curse.
It is, especially when everything goes by so fast and you have to be, your mind just becomes like a cat. You think on your feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just it's hard. It is. It's hard, and I feel your stress. I feel your pain to have to put it all together. But at the same time, though, at the end, it's worth it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I'll continue to do it.
Oh yeah. So you said Dragon Con, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that coming close or?
Yeah, it's typically what is it, the last weekend of August, first weekend of September. It's like what, 5 days? I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
So are you guys going to other conventions and promoting before Metrotham Con?
So we've been doing all kinds of stuff. We went to ETSU Con. We went to Clarksville Comic Con. We went to a Bacon Festival in Cleveland, Tennessee, right up the road here.
Bacon Festival.
We set up at everything. If you can think of it, we've probably been to it.
I need to go to Clarksville, Tennessee. Bacon Festival.
So no, the Bacon Festival is in Cleveland. It's
Cleveland?
Cleveland, Tennessee.
Yeah. That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I went to high school. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I lived in Cleveland for like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about no bacon. No one told me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they got like bacon covered funnel cakes and stuff. It's
oh my god.
Yeah.
You're gonna kill me. I love bacon.
Yeah, I do too.
My mom loves it too. So you PC and Mike.
Oh man.
Road crew forever. Whoa, you're from Cleveland, Tennessee, Pirate. Yes, I am. Well, I lived there for 4 years. I moved down there back in 2013, and I stayed there till 2016 or 2017. I moved back to Barville, so that's where I live now.
I'm not gonna tell you when I went to high school there because that will tell my age.
Oh gosh. I was actually going to go to college in Cleveland.
Cleveland State or Lee
Cleveland
College?
State. Yep.
Cleveland State. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they offered me a scholarship and stuff there.
Nice.
But I couldn't afford it. I was already far in student debt and everything. I just couldn't afford it.
Right. I mean, I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I've already been to 2 colleges before then. Like I went to Lindsey Wilson, and then I went to National College in Danville, Kentucky, and I dropped out of both because I couldn't afford it.
I was fortunate enough to be. I was really smart, and we were really poor, so those two allowed me to be able to go to college.
The thing I liked about Cleveland, though, was everything was close together. Like, all the restaurants. You had Walmart down the road, GameStop. Like everything was close. What I want to tell you this story because it's something I never thought I would ever do when I was in Cleveland. Yeah. I worked at Mars Candy Factory.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you go down that road,
You smell
like
it.
you could smell it, and it made me sick every day.
Yeah,
But I loved it. I loved working there because I got to eat candy and
man, I would gain 100 pounds if I were there. I love sweets, man. That's like my weakness.
yeah.
Candy is my weakness.
Oh yeah, and I mean, it was a good experience for me,
Yeah,
and like I liked being in Cleveland because I was close to Chattanooga,
right.
30 minutes away,
Yeah.
and there was just a lot of stuff, that and I want to go and check out that falls in Chattanooga,
Ruby Falls.
Ruby Falls.
Uh huh.
hmm My mom wanted to go up there, and we never got the chance to.
Yeah.
And
I,
and I
I
wanted,
know I know Vic went there. He was telling me about it. He said how he went to Ruby Falls and like Rock City and stuff while he was there. So
yeah, yeah, and it's just Chattanooga is a good place.
yeah, I mean, there's especially if you're into like outdoorsy stuff. There's
Mhm.
a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
And the downtown area is definitely growing. There's a lot of good eateries and just activities to do. And I think that's hopefully something that will help the convention in the future. As Chattanooga continues to grow
mhm.
and becomes more of like a tourist destination. Um, and people will learn like, hey, while I'm here in Chattanooga visiting this convention, we can go do this cool stuff and this cool stuff. You know,
It's in a
so,
cave. Yeah, yeah, it's where my mom wanted to go. She wanted to go check that out, and they never got to, unfortunately. But I told her one of these days I'll take her up there.
yeah, the
But
Lost is pretty cool too.
I mean, it's kind of like here in Kentucky, like we have Levi Jackson State Park, which is in London,
Hmm.
and it's basically almost the same thing as with Chattanooga, sort of, except London's smaller and the traffic's
Right.
bad.
Yeah.
Like I think they just put up a new stoplight like in over 10 years.
Yeah. Gotcha. Hopefully
but
that helps the traffic
yeah,
flow.
but yeah, I mean, Chattanooga was a good place. I,
Hmm.
I enjoyed it, and it's a great place for a convention.
Yeah.
So, like, did you ever have any ideas of like maybe other venues besides Chattanooga, maybe somewhere else?
Yeah. For a couple reasons. For one, Chattanooga is a decent size, but it's not a huge city. And it's got a specific demographic, right? So if you can't, I feel like if you can't appeal to families in Chattanooga, you're not going to make it. You're
Right,
you're gonna you're gonna grow to a certain point, and that's it.
right,
You have to appeal to more than one demographic. So that's why I really want to be all inclusive for everybody.
Rock
But
City felt like an awakening once you see the 7 states. Dusk says, "What's up? What's up,
so
Dusk?" Uh, he says, "Well, I have the same hat that PC is wearing." Yeah. Yep. NES. What was your favorite NES game playing when you
uh,
when you were growing up?
Super Mario Bros. 3.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Hmm.
I'll show you mine. Hang on. I got it over here. Oh, I got this one.
Yep,
Legend of Zelda
that's a good
and
one.
Dragon Warrior.
Hmm.
Yep.
Both are very good games for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
I remember when because Super Mario Brothers 3 came out after Sega had already launched. And Sega's what was it 16-bit and the NES was 8-bit and Nintendo was falling behind in the gaming wars essentially. But they released Super Mario Brothers 3 and that saved Nintendo while they could come out with the Super Nintendo. Nice.
Yep. I'm going to be modding it, actually. I'm going to put an HDMI mod kit into it.
Yeah.
But do you remember this game?
What is it?
Little Nemo. Venture.
I do.
Little Nemo the Dream Master.
Yep. I remember that game.
Oh, yeah. It's based on the movie.
Yep.
It's based on like a lot of people don't like the movie. I like the movie. I actually enjoy it. It's a kids movie. I mean, it's basically what an 80's kids would enjoy. Probably going to bring my NES Mini and ask Hodgepodge if we can make use of it. I had Little Nemo. That's not the only game I have. I wish Nintendo would bring this back. Star Tropics.
Yeah.
Star Tropics and Star Tropics 2.
Yep.
Which these came out in 90, in the 90s. But
Right.
I also got this one. The Adventures of Bayou Billy.
Nice.
Or hang on. The Adventures of Bayou Billy.
They had so many like random obscure games for the NES. It's like when you go back and you look at it, you're like, what is this?
Yep. And I also got Faxanadu.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Underrated. Highly underrated.
Yeah.
I got Castlevania somewhere. I don't know where it is. But I also got Shadowgate.
Nice.
Shadowgate's a really good adventure game. Like it's like a point and click game, except it's on the NES.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. My mom needs me real quick.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Handle your business. I'm gonna check and see if this agent got back to me about the celebrity here. All right. Everybody doing all right this evening? You got any questions for me about celebrity guests, events, anything like that that's coming up at Metrotham Con here in a few weeks? I'm gonna drink this Jack and Coke while PC's taking a break. Let's see if I can see comments. Bugs Bunny birthday blowout as a game. Can't wait for the con. Already arranging room with a couple of friends there. Awesome. Are you getting a room at the Staybridge? Make for sure you call them and ask for the Metrotham Con block. Get that discounted rate. Never play video games. My hand-eye coordination is terrible, but I love you guys' enthusiasm. One thing I realized going back and playing like NES games as an adult, they're extremely difficult. I remember easily beating most of them as a child, but now going back, it's like, man, I really don't have the patience for this side-scrolling stuff.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I was just interacting with answering a couple questions in the chat there.
I can't wait for the con. Already arranging to room with a couple of friends there.
Somebody asked, what is the After Dark event? I'll answer that question. So the After Dark is our adult stuff. We'll have on Friday night, we'll have a drag show. Saturday night is a burlesque show and a risque cosplay contest. We'll also have an adult vendor hall, and we'll have an adult comedy show. We have 4 comedians coming out to put on an hour-long comedy show. So that alone is worth your $20 for the weekend.
Oh yeah.
That stuff's going to be fun. Everybody's Brianna and the After Dark team have put in a lot of energy and effort of getting that stuff planned and ready for everybody.
Have you played Elden Rings?
I have not.
You've heard about it though, right?
I have, yes.
That's all everybody talks about. Even at my work, they're like, "Have you played Elden Rings?" Yeah. There are several After Dark events.
Yeah, so I know so we got Flashdance Friday as the after party for Friday, and the Dark Crystal Ball is the Saturday.
Dark Crystal Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And yep. And basically, so Flashdance, wear your 80's attire, come have fun, just dance 80's style. The Dark Crystal Ball, if you want to dress up a little bit more and be a little dapper, by all means, dress up. It should be a lot of fun. And leading up to our After Dark events, we have like live music, like Radio Cult and Pure Ed will be performing. A lot of 80's.
Forward to Radio Cult.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. But I mean, that's a lot. You get like a couple music concerts, you get a comedy show, you get a magic show, you get late night content. You get celebrity guests, the vendor hall, karaoke, lip sync battles, live action Mario Kart. We're doing a Pokemon hunt. We're doing a Dragon Ball scavenger hunt. We got Fire Nation coming and doing like a dance routine. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I mean that's just a lot of content for $20. I mean,
oh yeah, and you get to meet a lot of cool people.
Yeah,
including Mark yourself.
You just got to catch me because I'll be like Flash.
Yeah, he'll be like Flash, except not the CW Flash.
Right.
Screw that guy, no.
I'm not interested in getting into video games, but like I said, I'm enjoying you guys talking about them.
Oh yeah, I mean, I played video games ever since I was 2 years old. I mean, my first ever video game console was the Atari 2600.
Yeah.
Which I've been reviewing a lot of Atari 2600 games. And this sort of brings me into our little discussion that I've been wanting to have with you for quite some time.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens. So, which is your favorite Alien movie?
God, that's tough. Because Alien kind of set the bar.
Yeah.
But then,
Ridley Scott.
I don't know. I would probably say this is one of those rare instances where the sequel is better than the original. I think Aliens is a superior movie. As much as I enjoyed like some of the characters in the first movie, I feel like they expanded upon that and made the characters in the second one even better. And then when Ripley's in the yellow like construction bot or whatever, I mean, you can't beat that.
And not just that. I mean, you had James Cameron.
James Cameron is so I've heard that he's not that great of a dude like to work for, like in person, but you can't deny his visual eye that he has for making films. Because I'm not a huge Avatar fan, but the movie is visually stunning. Like it's just amazingly, it's beautiful. Same with Terminator with T2. And then even he did Titanic as well, right?
And normally James Cameron was against the idea of sequels, but then he decided to make Terminator 2, which that's another thing, Terminator 2, like when you talk about Alien and Aliens, you said that Aliens is your favorite, is the best, right?
Yeah.
It's the best one in the Alien movie franchise.
T2 is the best one.
T2 is the best in the Terminator.
And Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, is probably the most critically acclaimed one. My favorite's Return of the Jedi, but most people look at Empire Strikes Back as just as good, if not
Yep.
better, than the original.
Then A New Hope. Yeah.
Yeah, and those are few and far between. Most movie franchises, the second one, there's definitely a drop off. Like Back to the Future's one, the second one, there's definitely a drop off in the second one. Karate Kid, the second one, there's definitely a drop off in it. Avatar: Last Airbender, yeah.
My favorite game series will always be Kingdom Hearts, and I was happy to see 4 was announced. And yeah, Space Marines.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I agree with you on Aliens. I do agree. I mean, it basically changed the franchise, and like, I guess I've always been the type of person that would always defend like the first movie and be like, no, that's the best one.
Yeah.
It's kind of like with the first Halloween. The first Halloween's better than the second one, which I honestly still think that.
I
Going back.
think so too. Even though Halloween 6 is my favorite, and I know that's
Oh,
not a
God.
popular opinion. I know that's not a popular opinion.
I'm done. I'm done.
For whatever reason, though, like I don't know if it was when it came out, it just kind of it struck a chord with me, and I really kind of gravitated
Is
towards
it
that
because
one.
Tamara Glenn is coming?
No, she's in 5.
Oh, she's in 5.
So,
Oh, yeah, that is right. She is in 5.
yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
thought you were
6 is,
just playing favorites.
no 6 is Paul Rudd's movie debut. So
You might not like this opinion then, since you're giving out unpopular opinions.
yeah,
I like Friday the 13th part. I like part 5.
I do too. The first one I'm not a huge fan of.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just not.
Why
I
not?
like part 7 as well. 5, 6, and 7 are probably my favorite.
Yeah, and that's because they just like they basically stopped taking the shit seriously and made it fun. It's kind of like with Alien Resurrection.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know this is not a popular opinion. I like Resurrection.
So I like Resurrection better than the third one.
Yeah, Alien 3. It's not terrible, but it's
terrible.
not good either. I mean, the director hates it. The original director for it. He even denounced it. He said, "I didn't direct that."
I feel like they could have done. So the thing with Aliens too is
Aliens.
You need a change of like scenery. It's kind of the same environment that they're in every single time. It's like a close quarters ship, or was it like a prison that they were on?
Yeah, they were on a prison planet.
Yeah, and it's like, man, give me.
And they didn't have any guns. They had no guns or no weapons to fight off against the alien.
Forrest Whitaker's character melted himself in the hot lead or whatever to kill the alien, but it didn't work.
Yeah, like the chest burster. Which people still discuss about the ending of Alien 3 and compare it to Terminator 2's ending, which Terminator 2 came out a few months before that.
Yeah.
Which I assume that was probably a studio decision.
Yeah.
Because in the director's cut version of it, they had an alternate ending.
Yeah.
If I remember.
Ridley Scott wanted to kill off Ripley in the first Alien movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of the plan. In a kind of gruesome way too. Like he wanted the alien to bite her head off.
Yeah.
But then they reshot the ending and made it to where she knocked the alien into space or whatever. Kind of the ending that we got. Alien versus Jaws.
Oh God, no. No. I mean, I'm all for the idea of versus movies, like back in the early 2000s. Like I love Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah,
I do. But no, not Alien versus Jaws. No. Alien versus Predator. I'll probably defend the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, because it had a good setting and everything.
Well, the concept of it's pretty cool. Like the predators. That's what they use the alien species as like a training type thing. That's how you get your mark. Your battle mark. In the predator. I forgot the name of their race. But basically, once you kill an alien, you get promoted to the next tier. And
the alien, they're called xenomorphs.
No, I know the xenomorphs. I'm talking about the predators.
Oh, predator, vagina face. I don't know. I'm not really a big I've watched the first Predator movie. I love it. It's one of my favorite action horror movies.
Yeah.
But I never really got into the lore of Predator. I haven't seen Predator 2. Even though I heard it's the best.
Predator 2, I like the first one better. But
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, get to the chopper. But Predator, Danny Glover does an amazing job.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it was really cool, like at the end of that, you kind of see predator and human interaction and like a respect thing that you don't really see. You see it a little bit in the first one between Dutch and the predator. But in this one, in the second one, you need to go back and watch it. It's definitely worth a watch. Basically the predator's hunting him in the concrete jungle of LA, right?
Yeah.
So it's a cool concept.
Yeah. I mean, and people tell me it's better than the first one.
Yeah. I disagree with that, but
yeah. But I mean, I love Predator, like the first movie, because Arnold Schwarzenegger, like I've said in my Predator review of the Predator game, I said Arnold Schwarzenegger is my favorite actor of all time.
Yeah.
And he's been in a lot of 80s movies like Terminator, Total Recall, Last Action Hero.
The Running Man.
The Running Man.
That one's so good. I love The Running Man.
I have killed Sub-Zero. Now he is no Zero.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was awesome. and he also played in True Lies. Let's see. There's a lot of Arnold movies. Fuck. Commando, which I wanted to see Rambo Commando together, like John Rambo and John Mason. Yeah.
See, to me,
Rambo Commando.
out of all of the 80s action stars, probably the one I liked the most was Jean-Claude Van Damme. I really enjoyed his movies.
Bloodsport,
Kickboxer, Nowhere to Run, Target,
never back down, never surrender,
Cyborg,
Street Fighters, the movie.
I like that movie.
I do too.
But what are you supposed to do with a movie like that? It's gonna be cheesy.
Of course.
Which Jean-Claude Van Damme was originally, he played the Predator in the first movie. In the Predator.
And I think I heard Jesse talk about that, Jesse Ventura. Yeah. He said he was an upcoming kid in Hollywood and he thought that he should be making the Arnold Schwarzenegger money. He thought he was a big shot.
Right.
And the director fired him.
Right.
He said, you'll never be hired in Hollywood again. But of course, when you say something like that, you find work in Hollywood. That's funny when someone tells you you'll never find work in Hollywood and you do. It's funny.
Well, I mean, he stuck to his guns and was dedicated to his craft. I mean, you can say what you want about him, but the dude made fun movies. Like, I love all of his movies. They're all great. Double Team. It's great.
It's like with Steven Seagal. I know a lot of people don't like him, and he's full of shit half the time. But to me, Steven Seagal, his movies, I like all of them. I really do. But my favorite one is Under Siege.
Under Siege, yeah.
Yep. We got to make Hawaii glow. Gonna make.
I haven't seen Under Siege
glow in the night. Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like some of these action stars. I mean, Chuck Norris, Sylvester Stallone,
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Die Hard. What do you think of Die Hard?
I like Die Hard. For the simple fact that it's kind of a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Where you had Lethal Weapon, it was like a buddy cop movie, and they were like a team. They got stuff solved as a team. But literally in Die Hard, it's this one random cop who was just there to go to his wife's Christmas party, doesn't even have shoes on, and he just so happens to get caught up in all this crap.
Yeah, he did retire.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, sadly. But I mean, that's what I like about Die Hard is, I mean, it's different. It's definitely different, and it set it basically set like 80's action, like, because you had a lot of movies that ripped it off or took some inspiration from it,
Yeah.
And I like the Rocky movies from the 80's too.
What's your favorite Rocky movie?
Rocky 2. Probably Rocky 2 or Rocky 3. Rocky 3, maybe. Or Rocky 4. Gosh.
Mine's 4.
Yeah, I like 4.
Hands down.
Rocky 4. But I like Mr. T, though. That's why I like Rocky 3.
Yeah. But Drago, and when they killed Apollo, they added that dynamic.
Yes.
And then you got the Happy Birthday Polly robot.
Yes.
And then you got the cool training montage when he's in Russia, like in the snow. That was really cool.
It's on fire.
Right. Oh man, so good. And then there's no easy way out. When he's in that's the music's so good too.
Yeah.
And the whole time they're cutting to Drago where he's got all these technological advances. He's getting shot up with steroids, and Rocky's like carrying wood in the snow, and it's a really cool.
Die Hard is also a Christmas movie. Yes, it is. I don't really honestly think of it as a Christmas movie. I mean, I just think of it as a movie that just happens to take place on Christmas, but I don't really I don't see it as a Christmas movie because there's not really no themes or anything tied to it.
I think we got a question.
And you could
who's your favorite wrestler turned movie actor?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say The Rock, but that would be too obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Roddy Piper.
They Live.
I mean, that's my favorite movie, my favorite action movie ever. Action horror. I mean,
would I get laughed at if I said Hulk Hogan? Because I love Suburban Commando.
Commando.
Mr. Nanny.
Mr. Nanny.
No Holds Barred was great. I love it.
Oh my gosh. What's that smell? Dookie. Dookie.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Those movies are so cheesy, but they're great.
I was frozen today.
Yeah. Christopher Lloyd.
You're dead, Rip.
Yeah. Dave Bautista is one of my favorites. Dave Bautista is a good one.
Dave Bautista. I call him Bautista.
Yeah.
They Live is such a great movie. He has it on Blu-ray. Nice. Hell yeah, it's a great movie. I mean, John Carpenter's They Live. It's great action. I mean, those alien designs is iconic.
Yeah.
And no one ever thought that Roddy Piper was good as an actor.
Right.
But he fucking, oh my gosh.
You nailed it. And it's cool that movie has such strong political and government undertones. There's an alternate meaning to all that. It's kind of a reflection of what was going on in society during that time. And
Yeah.
even today, there's a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
Someone said Steve Austin. Yeah. I watched Condemned. Condemned, good
I don't
movie.
really like any of the movies that he did.
Oh, come on.
They're terrible.
Oh, come on.
Triple H,
Hey, Tactic Force is good.
the
I like
chaperone with Triple H.
Oh God.
He was in Blade
Blade
Trinity.
Trinity.
Yeah.
Speaking of actors, Wesley Snipes, he was in Demolition Man.
I love that movie.
Same here. That was in the 90s though, wasn't it?
Early 90s, if it was.
Yeah.
It's 90s.
Yeah. I thought it came out in the 80s.
That was a great pairing with Stallone and Wesley. It was great.
Triple H bad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, terrorizing. Yeah, Triple H, he wasn't that great of an actor, but as a wrestler, I can't believe he retired, though. I mean, Mark, don't be a hater. Don't hate on Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was awesome and everything.
Triple H had to marry into the family. That's why he's been champion the most times in history.
Hey, no, that's not true. Hulk Hogan. He was married to the family first.
Yeah.
I always like to make that joke.
Say your prayers and eat your vitamins, brother.
You don't want to know what vitamins he was taking.
Right.
But I like Santa with Muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah, Santa with Muscles, Mr. Nanny, Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah,
I mean, not Trouble, Thunder in Paradise.
Thunder in Paradise, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, there's so many great movies though we could talk about from the 80s. Because the 80s, like it had its own style. It had its own flair.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. It had its own niche. It had its own thing.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that kind of, stands the test of time. Like it'll never go away.
No. I remember when Stone Cold was at the height of his fame. Wasn't there a Stone Cold monster truck once? I think I remember seeing one parked somewhere. Yeah. There's been plenty of Stone Cold monster trucks. But I think, the best thing I like about the 80s is just, like the music, obviously.
Yeah.
Like you had so many great bands. Guns N' Roses, Pantera.
Mm-hmm.
You had, there was so many. Skid Row.
I mean, literally everything that's popular today and that people take for granted. A lot of it originated in the 80s.
Michael Jackson.
They really the music scene in the 80s really kind of took this level. Hip hop was born in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Run DMC.
Yeah, fashion in the 80s is
NWA.
Still here today. Gaming was revolutionized in the 80s. That's kind of what you get the gaming boom. Movies like these are timeless classics. Like they never get old.
No.
And it seems like there's just so many of them in that decade. I feel like you can't say the same thing about any other decade. Just the 80s is just jam packed with just greatness as far as movies and stuff goes. It was a great decade for music, movies, art, fashion, just everything.
The 80s styles are cool. So speaking of wrestlers, does anyone remember the show Celebrity Deathmatch? That was in the 90s. That wasn't in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, they're bringing up 90s stuff. That's my time. I'll always say this. I wish I was born in the 80s. I really do, because like the way my parents described it, it was the best time to be born.
Yeah.
And I wished I had the chance to do that, because I prefer the 80s over the 90s. Yeah. Even though I'm a 90s kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was born in 92, and what, I mean, 90s, everything did like culminate from the 80s. Like
Yeah.
everything from the 80s culminated to that,
Right.
it grew, like it transitioned into much bigger. I mean, you had the grunge scene, you had, uh, you know, like everything was just shifting.
Yeah. And I mean, they took the 80s, what was started in the 80s, and kind of ran with it. And even though I was born in 83, you know, mostly what I remember from my childhood was 90s. Even though I was, my dad really was into the 80s music and the 80s horror movies, and I couldn't get away from it because that's what he watched, and I grew up watching that and listening to that music. So of course, and my sister she's 13 years older than I am, so she was into, MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice and Prince and Michael Jackson. So of course I had that influence. She listened to that stuff, so I didn't have a choice but to listen to it. So it kind of stuck with me. And then, when you go back and you listen to it now, it's like, man, this stuff really holds up. It's so good. Um, Compared to what's out there today as far as lyrical content and music. They told you a story, in the 80s. It was about a life experience in the 80s. Whereas now it's just random stuff.
What did I miss? Oh God, we're just talking about the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh darn, my year was off. I've done got me 80s clothes for the con ready. Oh, the only 80s. Let's see. I think I have one 80s shirt. I think I got me an Evil Dead shirt somewhere.
Nice.
I might wear that. I don't know if I can find it, but I'm gonna try to find the right apparel to wear. I'll wear some shades because
Yep.
shades were cool in the 80s.
They were cool in the 80s.
Yeah, but in the 90s it was all about the cap, the twisted cap, like what Mark's got there.
Yep.
That was the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Twisted cap and skateboards. I mean,
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell. Oh my God.
90210, Buffy.
Buffy, Charm. I mean, the 80s had some good shows too. I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah.
Which, speaking of that, I actually saw Kevin Eastman there.
Yeah.
And I believe my friend Dunn, he asked them, he actually got up to ask them questions because they had a panel. And he asked them if we would ever get a live action movie where the turtles meet like their comic book counterparts, like the live action turtles met the comic book versions of themselves, or
Right.
and the cartoon version together, like all in a live action movie. And he and Kevin Eastman basically said, "But we already done that. That's in the cartoon."
Right.
He said, "But I'm talking about live action." And he never answered his question.
I don't think we'll ever see that.
No.
Um,
I was already wanting to look truly outrageous for the con. I mean, people come up with some of the best looking cosplays.
mm-hmm.
Like last year, who won the con cosplay competition last year?
You have the toothless.
Toothless.
Yeah.
That was cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, there's just so many people that work hard on these.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel bad because I can't be that creative to put money into something. And like, I mean, I can come up with a sign or anything like that, but to actually put something together to wear, that's takes a lot of time.
Right.
I'm doing Macho Man Savage. Oh yeah.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Yeah.
Macho Man.
Yeah.
Cosplay as Marty McFly.
Cosplay as me, right? I'm gonna tell you this right now. Yeah. If you're gonna get into Macho Man, you gotta get his voice.
Yeah.
Which Jake the Snake Roberts actually told me a funny story about Macho Man. Have I told you this?
I don't think so.
They were like, you remember Saturday, it was Saturday morning when they did that snake thing.
Yeah.
Where Jake brought the snake over and it lashed
He
on
bit him and it wouldn't let go.
Yeah, and it wouldn't let go.
Yeah.
He told me the funny story. This happened in the locker room in the back. Like he was just wiping the board, minding his own business, being a good person.
Yeah.
And Macho Man comes in and he's like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do this thing right now. But I got to ask you a question. Is the snake been fixed or not? He's like, of course it has. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. Maybe if this snake bites me, Macho Man's going to be dead. News, Intercontinental Champion. And he said, I ain't playing no fucking games. But I need you to let the snake bite him. Like he wanted the snake to bite him.
Yeah.
And it's code in the locker rooms. Like the locker room's really code. And he's like, oh God, really? If it'll make you happy, here, where do you want him to bite me? On my ass?
Right.
And then Macho Man said, the leg, that'll be fine. And he lets the snake, bite his leg. And then it's funny because he's still in character, like Macho Man, because he gets intense.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't move, no elixirs, no poison remover, nothing like that, no paint thinner. I want to see you die. I want to see the poison go to your brain. And then 15 minutes later, he's like, well, I guess I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Now let's go make some fucking money.
I told you it was devenomed or whatever.
Yeah, and Jake the Snake's like, just you wait. And he paintbrushed that snake, like he paintbrushed it. And it was ready to latch on to anything, and he brought it over to Macho Man. He's like, you're doing great. He's like, oh.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
Oh yeah, but
the snake's name was what? Damien. He had Damien, then he had Lucifer.
It was a King Cobra.
Yeah, his name was Damien. Then Earthquake did like a splash on Damien and supposedly killed that snake, and he got Lucifer.
Yeah, well, the reason why is because that python, it weighed so much, and he couldn't carry it with him everywhere, so they just wrote it off.
Yeah.
And he had that King Cobra. So, yeah, it was...
Jake the Snake was on way too many drugs, so...
Oh, yeah.
Probably pretty difficult to carry that snake, for sure.
Yeah, cosplay as Marty McFly. I wish I could. I mean, Michael J. Fox, I like him a lot. Sad that, he didn't get to, have a long career because, he's dealing right now with Parkinson's.
Oh, yeah, Jeanette from the Chipettes. That'd be awesome.
No.
That would be awesome.
Jeanette, from the 80's version. Okay.
No.
That might be cool. I'm talking about, don't do the one in live action, no.
Mm-hmm.
But Alvin and the Chipmunks, that was part of the 80's, wasn't it? Like the cartoon?
Yep.
Do you remember the cartoon All-Stars that they did?
Refresh my memory.
They did like a drug thing. Like they got all the cartoon characters together. Yeah, they had Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the new Ghostbusters, if I'm not mistaken. And you had the Ninja Turtles. You had Alf.
Yep.
Winnie the Pooh. All the cartoon characters come together to talk about drugs. Mm-hmm. Talk about marijuana.
Dare was a big thing.
Yeah, the war on drugs.
Yeah,
that was a big thing in the 80's, wasn't it?
Yeah. Dare was huge. They taught that was in every school. during that time period.
Like, what? How was your experience with that?
So they had what was this, Scruff McGruff, the crime fighting dog.
Yeah,
So they tried to appeal to kids for sure with that, and they did the little cartoon skits with it, and they bring in the little Dare T-shirts, and
Dare the Lion.
they'd have a police officer come in and talk to you about it and what not to do, so you'd stay out of trouble and stuff. So there's definitely a huge initiative for that in the 80s, you know, to try to curve the violence and drugs and crime, you know.
Yeah, I had someone suggest Dawn Carnage to me,
Don
but
Carnage. I love
Carnage,
that. Yeah.
Carnage to me, but he was 1990, just
Yeah.
missing the 1980s. I figured being a human / fox hybrid with my staff shirt would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Don Carnage was the bad guy in Tailspin, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, that's Dawn Carnage?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched Tailspin. I really haven't watched much of it. I've watched DuckTales.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I love DuckTales.
I love DuckTales too.
Like that, yeah.
Launchpad McQuack.
Speaking of Launchpad, I actually got to meet him in Huntington. Him and Darkwing Duck. Jim Cummings.
Jim Cummings, yeah.
Yeah, Jim Cummings. And Jim, he was a really sweet guy. He was really awesome. I mean, that would be someone hopefully you guys could try to get one of these days.
Yeah.
Cartoon All-Stars to the rescue to a new generation. Which cartoon series do you guys think they'll bring if they ever going to do a new version, and what topic do you think they're going to talk about? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. There's so much that they could talk about.
Right.
But, I mean, I would like to see more specials like that, sort of. But, like, talk about more important stuff, like, you know, finishing school and, you know, being successful. Like you, Mark. I mean,
how to write a check.
How to write a check.
How to balance the checkbook. How to sign your name. You know, how to count money. Just basic things, you know.
Yeah, something that's going to help you in life.
To prepare people for the real world, you know.
Yeah.
And that's one thing too that bothers me a little bit with today's society, and not to get all, you know, into that stuff, but the participation stuff drives me nuts, because everybody in today's society, everybody wins, nobody loses, right? Everybody gets a trophy, everybody gets a ribbon, everybody's great and amazing and wonderful. But then when they get out of that shell and they get into the real world, I'm not great. I'm not wonderful. I'm below average. I don't get a trophy. Where's my ribbon? I'm a loser, you know. And then so it's, you know, they prepare people to be to make them think that they always win when life's not like that.
No.
You know.
No, you're gonna fail, and you're gonna keep failing until you get it right.
Right.
I mean,
I think we need to teach the generations to come that. Like, you need to learn how to fail.
Oh yeah, I mean, because that's how you learn. I mean, how else are you going to learn if you don't fail?
Right.
At least once. I mean, look at Michael Jordan, for example. He didn't even make it on his freshman team.
Right.
When he tried out for basketball, he didn't make it his freshman year.
Yep.
But, I mean, it takes practice. It takes time. People will see it. You know, you just got to apply yourself.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure that you've failed in a lot of things, and I've failed in a lot of things, and, you know, and it's taught me a lot. By failing, you learn.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm off here and had a blast. Have a good night. I'll hope to see everyone soon at the con.
Have a good night, Rhonda.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to the con. I mean, there's just so many things that I'm looking forward to. Obviously, seeing you and, you know, seeing everybody. Like, I just, you know, like I told you last time, you know, like you guys are family to me.
Same.
And it's like going to a reunion. You know, if like it's a yearly reunion for me to go see you guys. And I mean, it just means everything to me.
Right.
To be able to help you guys out and, you know, help out other cons. I mean, it's a teamwork thing.
Yep, that's true.
I look forward to seeing you two, PC and Mark. Ah, that's a good question. What's your favorite anime from the 80s?
That's easy.
Besides Akira, that's a movie.
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball? The original Dragon Ball?
Mm-hmm. Actually, in some ways, I find that superior to Dragon Ball Z, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because it was more an adventure. Like,
right.
You know, yeah, it had fighting and stuff. It was more adventure.
Yeah.
My favorite 80s anime, I like Gundam.
Gundam's good too.
Yes, especially the later Gundams like Char's Counterattack. I like 0083, Stardust Memory. But my favorite Gundam series is 8th MS Team. Because it takes place in Earth. It's like it's like what if, you know, in the Vietnam War we had mechs instead of tanks.
Right.
And it had a friggin' kick-ass opening.
Did you I like Lupin the Third as well.
Lupin the Third.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of Lupin the Third, I was actually planning on reviewing the Castle of Cagliostro.
Nice.
Which that came out in the 70s. That didn't come out in the 80s.
Right.
I think it came out in 79, 78 or 79.
Sounds probably right. Yeah.
Yeah. It was the directorial debut of Hayao Miyazaki.
Mm-hmm.
Which you probably remember movies like Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah.
My Neighbor Totoro. A lot of good 80s movies from Hayao Miyazaki. I mean, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Princess Mononoke is amazing.
I got Princess Mononoke on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I need to watch it. But yeah, I like Gundam. I also like there's another one that I really like. Dirty Pair. Gunsmith Cats. Let's see. There's just so many.
Right. So,
but
anime didn't get big though here in the States until the 90s, until like Toonami. Like really Sailor Moon was most people's first experience with anime, you know. Oh yeah, nice.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
That's what got me into anime. And Berserk. I love Berserk. I was into the manga. I was into the manga before I actually watched the series.
Yeah.
But I mean, that came out in the 90s. Gunsmith Cats was good. Bubblegum Crisis.
Yep.
Obviously Akira, Neo Tokyo, Metropolis.
Oh yeah, Metropolis is amazing. I love Metropolis.
Legend of the Overfiend. That's a hentai series. But it's so bad that it's good. It's funny as
hell. Bastard was one that I watched.
Bastard.
Oh My Goddess was one of the first animes that I watched.
Sailor Moon. That was in the 90s. You know, the funny thing.
93, something like that.
The thing is, you know, it's an 80s convention, right? But Sailor Moon came out in the 90s. But the original manga came out in the 80s.
Right.
So it makes sense.
And that's the thing too. Like sometimes availability of celebrities and stuff like that kind of dictates who you get and what you can do when things change. So even though like I will never, even with themes, I'll never have
Project Echo.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Appleseed.
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell.
Trigun early 90s, or was
Yep.
it late 80s?
Yep,
Yeah.
in the 90s. Yep, Johnny Young Bosch.
Mhm.
Speaking of him, I actually ran into him again, and I asked him if he's coming back to Metrotham Con. He said no, sadly. He's
Yeah,
kind of booked right now. He said I need to get back in touch with him.
Yeah.
He said I do. He said I do need to make up for that.
Yeah.
He said so maybe next year.
Yeah. My first animes are Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh. So, yeah.
Tokyo
Pokemon was a lot of people's introduction to anime too.
I didn't even know it was an anime. I thought it was a cartoon.
Yeah. Originally I thought it was just a card game.
Yeah. Speaking of cards, I've been collecting Pokemon cards.
Nice.
Because there's a lot of money in that now.
There is. Yeah. Depending on, which editions you have, and
yeah.
Anything that's, old school first edition, or anything that's Japanese original Pocket Monster stuff is worth a lot.
Oh yeah. Especially
any holographic Charizard that's first edition is going to be worth a lot.
What do you think of that Instructor Pikachu card?
What's that?
Instructor Pikachu card.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the one that Logan Paul had.
Yep, I saw that.
$7 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he bought it in Dubai, and there's only a limited number of those.
Yeah.
So, and he actually made an NFT for it, so people could buy it. And I'm like, how do you own it? It's not really something you own. It's just you give somebody money, and you basically, I guess it's part ownership. I guess I'm not really sure how you own it.
Right.
It makes no sense. I mean, I thought, if you bought into it, maybe you get the copy of it,
Right.
But that's not how it works. It's like NFT, cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
What's your favorite educational TV show from the 80s? He-Man.
He-Man.
You know how he always had that, the lesson or the meaning of the show at the end.
The episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of He-Man, you remember the action figures?
Oh yeah.
Will we see anything He-Man related at the con?
You may see some stuff in the vendor hall. I think we may have one panel that's Masters of the Universe, so there'll probably be a He-Man panel.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, He-Man was definitely synonymous with the toys and toy craze in the 80s.
Yeah, I'd love to meet Johnny Young Bosch. It was nice meeting Vic, and I'm really looking forward to meeting the Sailor Moon voice actors. I am too. I mean, I know I grew up with them because Sailor Moon was a big fixture in my childhood because, it was on Toonami.
Yeah.
And, honestly, if you were a guy watching that show, some people would make fun of you for it, but most of the kids that I grew up around, they watched Sailor Moon.
Right.
So, it made me feel good to be able to talk about Sailor Moon in class and, talk about that episode and, and not be ridiculed by it. Because back then it was there was a lot of kids that were into that.
Yeah.
They wanted, the sole purpose of Sailor Moon was to get girls into anime.
Mm-hmm.
But they managed to have both men and women get into it, both male and female. Yep, I can't believe that it's the 30th anniversary. Oh yeah. 30 years, really?
Yep.
Came out in 92. I'll be 30 this year.
That's the thing. So Sailor Moon actually was on Toonami before Dragon Ball Z. A lot of people, when you think of Toonami.
Actually, I think it was also on another channel that I
Mhm.
remember before it was on Toonami.
Yep.
It was on the same channel as Power Rangers at one
It,
point.
it was really like the first, reoccurring like show on TV that was a true anime.
Syndicated.
Yeah.
It was syndicated right from the start.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was on their channel, the Deke channel or something, that I watched it. There was a bunch of Deke shows. Mario, Zelda,
That Super
Inspector
Mario
Gadget.
show was pretty good with Captain Lou.
Yep. Do the Mario.
Yeah. I love that show. It was great.
Oh my gosh.
They had a Zelda one too.
They had Sonic.
Yeah.
Guys watching Sailor Moon in the 90s was probably more common and acceptable than bronies in the 2010s. Yeah, probably. I mean that's the thing, because when the original NES came out, and this is an example, the original NES was targeted towards boys
Hmm.
because at the time, when the video game crash happened, like no store wanted to sell consoles. Period.
Right.
They didn't want. They thought that there was no money in it, which there wasn't. So Nintendo played it smart. They played it smart. Instead of saying that it's a console, they said it was a toy. It was an entertainment system.
Right.
And they marketed towards boys because they wanted it to appeal to that demographic. Because
Hmm.
they thought that boys would, and I don't think that they were trying to be sexist or anything about it. I think they saw that, there's more men, there's more boys that play games
That would gravitate towards it.
that would gravitate towards it. Exactly.
I mean, it's just smart marketing. I mean, especially given the times, right? Then it was Barbie dolls and stuff, for girls. That's kind of was the thing, you
Yep.
know. Um,
And action figures for boys, like G.I. Joe for boys.
He-Man, G.I. Joe, Ghostbusters, yeah,
uh, but it was like, it was like, it wasn't like they were trying to be sexist. They just had different things for their own audience.
hmm
And I guess girls gravitated towards the NES, because it wasn't just for boys. They realized it wasn't just for boys. It could be for family.
yeah. It was just fun in general, like for
Yeah.
anybody. It's just, there's problem solving, there's excitement. There's some of those games, man, are pretty scary too. Like the Freddy one, that was kind of freaky, man. When you go into
Yeah.
the dream sequence and there's like flying heads and stuff. It's like,
Yeah, and I
wonderful.
do like the radio music that plays in the Friday the 13th,
Yeah,
not Friday, the Nightmare on Elm Street game.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I actually like that game, even though it's repetitive and everything. I still
Mhm.
like it because it was the first, game. It was one of the first horror games I've ever played before I experienced Splatterhouse.
Yeah.
Which that was in the 80s. Splatterhouse. You remember that?
I don't think I do, to be
Oh
honest with
my
you.
gosh, Splatterhouse. So Splatterhouse was developed by Namco,
Yeah.
and it was an arcade game. Like the main character, he's wearing a hockey mask, and it's sort of a tribute to, horror movies like, Deadly Spawn, Evil Dead, Friday the 13th, which
Right.
obviously that's what the mask looks like. Uh, they ported it over to the TurboGrafx 16, which you probably don't remember that.
I remember that.
The TurboGrafx 16 was the first 16-bit system,
Yeah.
one of the first, because it was called the PC Engine in Japan.
Yeah.
But they ported the game over, the original arcade, because there never was a North American release of the arcade game.
Right.
And it's basically an action brawler game. You know, you fight monsters. I mean, the iconic Biggie Man, which he has a freaking chainsaws and he's wearing a potato sack on his head.
That's cool.
It's a really awesome game. You should check it out.
Friday the 13th Part 2.
Yep. And not just that, I mean, it's just a great game, and it had a really good remake for the Xbox 360 and PS3. I remember being scared of the dungeons in Zelda when I was very little. Are you talking about like the shadow hands in the dungeon? Like there's the shadow hands.
Yeah.
You had the shadow hands, and then you had the dragon. You know, the dongos.
Yeah. And Castlevania is pretty terrifying too.
Yeah.
Fight a lot of the classic monsters in that.
Yeah, Medusa. God, the Medusa heads.
Yeah.
I hated the Medusa heads, and the fact that every time you get knocked back, you know, you fall into a pit of death.
Yeah.
I never actually beat Castlevania until I was in high school. But a game that you couldn't beat as a kid, when you go back to play an old game you couldn't beat as a kid, it's a great fucking feeling.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love Castlevania, but my favorite Castlevania game is Castlevania 2. Simon's Quest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love it. I do, and I would defend that game. I know it's the Angry Video Game Nerds' most hated game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love it. I love Castlevania 2. I love the music. Gosh, the music. I love the day and night mechanic. Yeah, it's tedious with the text and everything. It's a horrible night to have a curse, but I mean, in fact, Xanadu is sort of like Castlevania 2.
Yep.
I mean, but I think it's a better made game than Castlevania 2. I will say that.
I agree.
And plus, it was actually part of an episode of Captain N, Game Master. Captain N. You remember that?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember Captain N?
I don't think so.
Gosh. They had all the characters. They had Simon Belmont. They had Mega Man. They had, you know, all the characters.
Maybe if I saw.
They even had Mother Brain as the main villain.
Yeah, I need to look into that.
Captain N, the Game Master. It came out in the 80s, and it was great. It was really great. I love it because they basically they even gave you tips on certain games.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a Akari Warriors episode, ABBA brings you back to life. Yeah, you push ABBA.
Right.
Oh dear God, that game! Like you move so slow.
Up, down, left, right. AB, select, start.
That's Contra code. That's the Konami code.
Mm-hmm.
30 lives.
Yep.
There's another code. I think there's a code in Gradius. If you use that, it's another Konami game. If you put that code in, you get something. I think you get 30 extra lives in that too. Not really sure. But there's another game, of course, you know, with a code, and that is Abacob.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
The original Mortal Kombat for Sega Genesis. Abacob.
Brought to you because of Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's why Mortal Kombat exists.
That and Pit Fighter.
Yeah.
You had Pit Fighter, Street Fighter.
Johnny Cage is Jean-Claude Van Damme, essentially.
Johnny Cage.
And,
Luke Cage.
Raiden is inspired by Big Trouble in Little China.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the three storms, the lightning one.
Yep. Sector and I think it was Sector and Cyrax. They're inspired by ketchup and mustard.
Yeah.
That's what they said. They called them ketchup and mustard. But yeah, that like like I said, the 80s culminated with the 90s. Like they go together like peanut butter and jelly,
Peas and carrots.
like peas and carrots, like Beavis and Butthead,
Mm-hmm.
like Wayne and Garth. You remember Wayne's World?
Oh yeah. The Wayne's World was based in Aurora, Illinois. That's where I was born.
Like the Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, you got the 80's, which is Wayne, I would say, which is it's very loud and more outgoing and kind of set the tone, and then Garth just kind of follows along. That's what the 90's was. It just kind of followed along with what the 80's did. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a
But I
good,
mean,
good
what
analogy.
are you looking forward to the most with this convention?
Um, Again, just getting back with the people and seeing people have fun and coming together and just having a good time and enjoying the events and meeting the celebrities and buying stuff from the vendors. It's just a lot of fun to see that type of atmosphere. So I'm excited for that.
I am
And it's really cool to see like the crew come together and pull together and pull off the show too. That's a lot of fun to see everybody work hard and come together.
Oh
So
yeah. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
yeah,
And like me and you discussed, like that's what it's about.
yeah,
It's about us coming together and having a good time.
yeah. We need that human interaction.
Mhm.
We can't do stuff like this forever. It's not the same. You got to have that in-person human interaction. You need hugs. I mean, hugs can heal a lot of things.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm excited for that. Just
Oh yeah.
being amongst the people.
Oh yeah. And just being around everybody, that's what we need right now,
Yeah.
especially in this day and age. We
Hmm.
need more interaction because we're not getting enough of it,
Yeah.
and
We're
people are,
very disconnected.
yeah,
Even though
especially,
we're
yeah,
so connected that we're disconnected. Like
yeah.
it's crazy. Um,
When
we're
I,
disconnected with our humanity.
well,
When I was very little, my mom used to say that's 80's music playing. Yeah. Cassette tapes and 80's music kind of go hand in hand. You had
yeah,
the you had the Walkman came out,
hmm,
but no, I'm excited. Fun time, good music, good friends, family, good vendors, good guests, karaoke.
good
Should be
times to be had.
yep. Look forward to it.
That's the thing, like that's why I want to be down there, to be able to interact with people, to tell them, you know that this is the place, this is where, you know interaction happens,
Hmm.
and this is what it's all about, having that closeness.
Yeah,
Like that should be the whole thing, this whole slogan. Like, it's the closeness away from home.
yeah.
Like, I mean, it's cheesy, but I mean, that's the
It's
point.
real.
It's
Yeah,
real.
yeah. That's the driving factor behind it. So
I haven't used a Walkman since I was 13 or 14. I used to have my Game Boy as a Walkman. Like, no joke. You could turn your Game Boy into a Walkman.
that's cool.
But it was just, different times.
Hmm.
And, I just hope to have just as much of a good time as I did last year.
I'm sure you will.
Oh yeah. I'm sure everybody will.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of guests coming, What was the last guest that you wanted to talk about before we end the stream?
Oh, I'm not gonna I'm not
Okay.
gonna. I'm
Okay.
not gonna.
Okay.
Just because I know how like back and forth celebrities can go, so it's tough sometimes because you get excited because they show interest and can come, but then stuff changes and things come up. So that's another part of the stresses of running a convention. So,
It's
but I
more
guarantee you, if you're a fan of anime, you will love this person.
it's
It,
not Vic Mignogna.
it's not Vic Mignogna.
Sorry, guys.
No. I know a lot of people did want Vic to come back, and we'll have Vic back at some point.
Oh yeah, that's I know you guys wouldn't turn him down
Mm-mm.
like everybody else has. I mean, it's sad, that we have people out there that want to try to ruin people's careers and take opportunities away from them to be able to interact with their fans. And I'm glad that you are one of the cons that stood up against that. And we need more cons like that
Yeah,
because you don't see that anymore.
yeah. I mean, at some point too, obviously, if there's convictions of stuff, that's one thing, but people have to learn to, because your heroes aren't always
Your
great people.
heroes.
Well, that's a character they portray, right?
Mhm.
You could never expect the voice actor of Sailor Moon to be like Sailor Moon. They're a human being.
Yeah.
We're capable of we're not perfect.
No.
So you can never go into it expecting that, and I think a lot of times people do that. And I think that's a mistake. Um, just because they voice a character that you love, they're still not that character. They're a person. They're a human being. Um,
Absolutely.
so you got to learn to separate the art from the person.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know how to do that.
And
Just because like whatever J.K. Rowling says, I don't follow that too much, but that's not going to make me stop loving Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
I'm gonna like that regardless. Um, so I'm not gonna let, like, another good example. You know, I love R&B and hip hop music and R. Kelly's music. I love R. Kelly's music. I just do. I love a lot of his songs. Him as a person, not a great person, but that doesn't make me not like his music. Like, I Believe I Can Fly from Space Jam. If that comes on, I'm singing my heart out.
Yeah. And it's
You know,
like with Chris Benoit, the wrestler, he was
yeah,
he was a great wrestler and you love his matches and you
yeah,
love him as a wrestler, but as a person, awful person. He
right,
murdered his family and
yeah,
you could separate the art from the artist. You just gotta remember that they're a person at
yeah.
the end of the day. They're still a human being. They have faults.
Hmm.
They have things that make you not like them, or you
Right,
know. But at the end of the day, you could still enjoy what they give to you.
right.
I mean, and I don't like the idea of canceling somebody
Hmm.
without evidence and stuff like
Right.
that. That's just always been my thing. I've always been against cancel culture.
Yeah,
I
me
mean, I
too.
don't care what anybody does. Like I think that if they show that they want to change and they want to be a better person, you let them do it.
Right.
You shouldn't take their livelihood away from them, though.
I think us as human beings need to practice a little more empathy
Empathy.
amongst our fellow man, and forgive and move forward and help and heal and it's so quick to attack, and
Mm,
there's just no remorse.
there
It's
isn't.
I don't know. It's tough to watch sometimes, so I try not to fall into that stuff and get involved in that stuff. It's
That's
tough.
good.
Yeah. So I do me, they do them. So
Yes, every human being is not perfect. We had to accept as well. We as humans that It's how we are how we create. You know, we all humans at how we create.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. We need more empathy. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, because people seem to lack empathy.
Hmm.
I mean, it's one thing to hold somebody accountable for something that they did,
Right.
but it's another to take away their livelihood and to take away from their families, and because their families, they don't deserve it.
Right. And that's the thing. It doesn't just affect one person. Those people have children or
Hmm.
mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, cousins. People that look up to them and need them and depend upon them. So
Hmm.
it's not just that person that you're hurting. You got to look at the big picture and everything in life.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, let's practice empathy for our fellow man.
Oh,
That's the yeah love. Um, that's kind of the message of the show, right? So
yeah.
that's our He-Man moment.
This world is made of love and peace.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, I know. Look at Lovecraft, yeah. Yes. I mean, I appreciate you guys, bringing people like Vic and, giving him the chance to be with his fans and,
Yeah.
having that interaction. Like you said, interaction, that means a lot to a lot of people because there might be somebody out there that's struggling, and
Mhm.
they don't have that kind of love. They might come from a bad home. They
Right.
might not feel that kind of way. And I understand, there's a lot of people that aren't very huggy, you know,
Yeah.
like people that aren't that affectionate. I mean, I'm one of those people. Like, if I don't know you, I won't randomly hug you.
Yeah.
But I try to take it as a means of endearment because I know people want to show support for me, and I try not to make a big deal out of it
Yeah.
because I understand where the thought comes from. And
Right.
that's what people need to realize. You can't just assume that, oh, this person hugging me, they're after me or something like that.
Right.
There's an
Yeah.
attraction to me or something. No, it's affection. It's
Right.
to show that you care.
Yeah.
And that's what we're missing in this world. People just don't care.
Yeah.
They don't
Mhm.
look at it like that. And that's the sad reality of life.
Mhm.
We are just as capable of creating as we are of destroying, and when we destroy we hurt, and that's not good. I appreciate PC and Metrotham Con.
We appreciate you.
I look forward to meeting you, Kiri. I mean, I watch some of his streams sometimes. I mean, he's really entertaining to watch.
Mhm.
Especially when he calls out those scammers and stuff. Like,
Right.
that's what he does. He pranks these scammers and stuff,
Uh-huh.
and it's entertaining. Like, you hear him cussing at him and everything. When Lovecraft died, he changed his mind of people of color. I mean, it's like Mark said, like, our heroes, they're just people, you know. I mean, just because you like someone's work, that doesn't mean that, they're always going to be a good person.
And a lot of times people are victims of their circumstances or victims of the period of time that they lived in, right? When I mean, you just gotta do your best and like we said, separate it and take from it what you love and hold on to that, because it's near and dear to your heart.
I need to go back into pranking the scammers again. I haven't really done that in a while. I need to get back to streaming, period. I haven't been able to in a long time because of work and everything.
Right.
Yeah, when you're stalking and everything, and you don't have all the supplies you need, because our store right now we're very low on stock. Like, especially in employees and everything. So that's why a lot of people have to push more hours in, and and sometimes we don't have all the stuff that we could put out, and
Right.
that hurts us, that
Yeah.
hurts our business.
Most definitely. I mean, I think everybody's hurting kind of across the board right now. So, we just got to be hopeful that things will get better.
I gotta get my VM set up as so that the scammers could see me fake redeem Google Play gift cards and make them angry. Oh gosh. Well, it was great talking to you, Mark.
Yeah, most definitely. And we're just a few weeks out, so we'll see you soon. It's May 13th through the 15th. It'll be here before you know it.
And I'll probably be making that announcement video about the giveaway. I'm going to try to do it before the con.
Yeah.
It's just I haven't been able to because money has sort of put us behind and everything, and it's going to be harder for me to try to do anything right now because I have to try to. I mean, I'm going to try to buy some cards to hand out to people and stuff for my channel. I just don't got a banner made or anything, or no like anything, no setup.
I mean, that's fine. Everybody starts somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You put yourself out there, just talk to people about what you do, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. And I appreciate your help, helping me with the channel and everything. It means a lot to me.
No problem. I mean, anything that we could do to help each other, that's what we do.
Oh, yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Go ahead and plug yourself, Mark.
Yeah. So everybody watching, Metrotham Con, May 13th through the 15th at the Chattanooga Convention Center in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We got Power Ranger guests, 80's guests, Sailor Moon guests, another surprise guest that'll be coming out soon. Our vendor hall is sold out. There's, I want to say, if I'm thinking correctly, we've got 89 spots filled, which means there's about 60 different vendors there. So it's a nice vendor hall. We got after dark, late night entertainment, comedy shows, live music, karaoke, lip sync battle, all that good stuff. Live action Mario Kart, Pokemon hunts. You can meet and greet the Pokemon. They'll give you a gym badge if you battle the trainer. So that's a new thing this year too. So it'll be a lot of fun. Kids 12 and under get in free. So if you got kids, bring the fam out and have a good time. We have a kids room that they can do some fun crafting and stuff in. We also have a maid cafe, 3 shows Friday, and I want to say 4 or 5 shows Saturday as well. So.
Oh yeah, and I'll definitely be there all 3 days. Just come by my booth. I'll be there. I'll have some people helping me out. Handling that and everything. And I'd love to have a discussion with you guys and talk to you, and we'll have fun.
Yeah, most definitely.
Oh yeah. Thank you guys for watching this stream. Thank you, Mark. It's always a pleasure having you on here, and hopefully next time, we could do something.
Yeah.
So
everybody have a good night. Thank you.
All have a good night. This has been PC signing out. I'll see you guys in the next video.